Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm hopeful that at the end of this video, you'll know a bit about a very important and certainly overlooked invention, the jacquard loom. Looms are devices to weave fabric. They hold the wrapped threads under tension to create the interweaving of the threads. The word loom comes from the Old English word guinome, meaning tool. Looms have been around a long time and come in many different styles. They are symbols of ancient Greek and Roman gods. The particular loom I would like to talk about today is the jacquard loom. The jacquard loom was invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard in 1801. Jacquard was a weaver and merchant born in 1752 in France. The jacquard loom is a mechanical loom that is controlled by a set of cards set in a special sequence together. The cards have a pattern of holes punched into them. These hole patterns dictate the pattern that will be woven into the fabric. The cards themselves can be placed in any sequence and are not limited to the length of the sequence. This makes complicated weaving patterns with complex color combinations simple to make. The pattern that was to be made by the loom was also easy to change because the cards could just be switched around. The idea of the loom was, when there was a hole, so this is one of the cards, so when there was a hole, the hook corresponding to that position on the card could go through and hook the fabric underneath, lifting it up. When there was no hole, the hook would remain up and the fabric thread would stay down. The interlocking of the threads created beautiful textiles. Although the importance to the jacquard loom to the fields of textiles is undisputed, the real marvel of the loom is its influence to the development of computers. This was a milestone for computer programming. The jacquard loom's use of the punched cards was a key conceptual precursor to computing. The binary logic was born. If there is a hole, lower the hook, otherwise keep the hook up. The computational thought process the jacquard loom used soon was used by other inventors. Charles Babbage, an English inventor, was inspired by jacquard. A famous portrait of jacquard was woven in silk in 1839. It required 24,000 punched cards. One portrait was owned by Babbage. This inspired him to use similar cards to store programs in his analytical engine, which was essentially a mechanical, general-purpose computer. Arithmetic logic, control flow, conditional branching, loops, and integrated memory were all used in Babbage's engine. Later, the punched cards idea was used to create a counting machine for the US censuses. This was made in 1890 by Herman Hollerith. Hollerith later started a company you may have heard of, IBM, which had a pretty significant role in the development of computers. The ideas originated from the jacquard loom, kept snowballing, and eventually these punched cards were used for storing information. In fact, although computing has surpassed this technology, punch cards are still used frequently today, such as voting ballots, data recorders, and those cards you get at food stores where you get the 10th one free. A cool fact is that the American money is the same size as these programming cards because they already had all the machines to make the cards, so it was decided purely for the convenience. The jacquard loom, some argue, is the first step in the age of computers, a progression that has significantly altered society. However, hardly anyone's ever heard of it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've learned something.